Investigators have identified a woman who was found dead after a fire at a Monona apartment complex last weekend. Plus, what could happen if the grand jury recommends criminal charges for former President Trump. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in. New at noon, investigators have identified a woman who was found dead after a fire at a Monona apartment complex last weekend. It happened in the 300 block of Owen Road last Saturday. 64-year-old Annette Dorenzo was pronounced dead at the scene. Additional testing is being done to try to determine how Dorenzo died. It's unclear what caused the fire. At least 70 people were displaced from their homes. Dane County authorities have identified a woman who was killed in a crash outside of Mount Horeb last week. 36-year-old Karen Chase was pronounced dead at the scene on Highway 151 last Friday. Officials say she was ejected from her vehicle when it rolled over. Investigators have shared few details about what caused the crash as the investigation continues. Happening today, workers at the Starbucks on Madison's Capitol Square are going on strike as part of a national day of action. Organizers say they're among more than 100 other stores across the country that are fighting for union recognition. The strike comes a day before the company's annual shareholders meeting. Starbucks Workers United have sent a letter to shareholders urging them to vote in favor of the Assessment of Worker Rights Commitment, which will be up for a vote at the meeting. Fitchburg police are investigating a string of car thefts. They say thieves have been targeting cars in driveways and parking lots in the Terra Vasta neighborhood. The suspects found a key fob and garage door opener in an unlocked car in the driveway of a home. After opening the garage, they stole a vehicle that was inside, as well as the one in the driveway. The second theft was very similar. The garage was open, key fob in the unlocked car, but they only stole the car in the driveway. Fitchburg police say it's important that all exterior doors on your home or property, including garages and cars, are locked. Let's head out to the weather patio now. Meteorologist Kelly Slifka has a look at the first warned forecast. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's quite a bit cloudier today, and it's got that damp feeling out here. We had a little bit of drizzle this morning, so it probably won't feel as nice as what we had yesterday, even though I think it will still be fairly mild. You can actually see from our sky cam here at the station, it's in the clouds. It's pretty damp out here as those low clouds continue across southern Wisconsin. In fact, visibilities are down to a quarter mile. It's been fairly thick there in Mineral Point. Then as you head down to the south into parts of Lafayette County near Platteville, a mile and a half. Here at Madison, officially the visibility is at 6. So we're looking at some rain to develop later tonight. This will be mainly after midnight, but it's going to be changing to some snow by tomorrow morning because it will be turning colder. And it looks like this chilly weather will continue through the weekend and actually into early next week. Then we're talking about another storm system moving in Friday night, going into Saturday, and that one will bring us some accumulating snow. So the active weather pattern continues. Right now we're at 42, 45 in Janesville, low 40s now. We may touch 50. That might be very positive if we get up that level. But we'll look at dry conditions this evening, but you can see some rain starting to spread into southwestern areas of the state. Eventually that changing to some snow after 3 o'clock. By the morning commute, you might see some slushy accumulation. I think it would be fairly minor. By the late morning hours, that should be out of here. Right now, 42 as you plan your day. Just looking at cloudy skies, might run into a little bit of drizzle here and there with temperatures approaching 50. We'll see how much snow we can expect later tonight, and we'll also talk about that storm system Friday night and Saturday may bring us some more accumulating snow. More on that coming up.
It is spring, isn't it?
I think it says it is.
All right, Kelly, we'll check back in a little bit. Thank you. Sources tell CBS News that the New York grand jury investigating former President Trump is nearly done with its work, but there is no timeline for any announcements. Proceedings have been canceled for today, so the wait could be a little longer. Jared Hill has the latest.
Former President Donald Trump remains at his home in Florida. He's waiting to see if a New York grand jury indicts him for allegedly falsifying records to pay for the silence of adult film star Stormy Daniels back in 2016. She says they had an affair.
Our enemies are desperate to stop us.
Trump, who's running for president in 2024, says the entire investigation is politically motivated, and many fellow Republicans agree.
I just think it just kind of reeks of political revenge.
In New York, a handful of demonstrators gathered to support the efforts of the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg. He says he plans to apply the rule of law no matter what. If an indictment is issued, law enforcement sources say Trump would surrender in New York. He would be fingerprinted, photographed, and arraigned, all under the protection of Secret Service.
The Secret Service is very well equipped to handle large crowds, large visits, things that are unique in the way of protection. They're planning ahead for anything that could go wrong.
Various law enforcement agencies in New York and Washington, D.C. are also standing by, mindful of the violent protests that unfolded on January 6, 2021 at the U.S. Capitol. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Well, the Federal Reserve faces a tough decision today on whether to raise interest rates in an effort to slow down inflation. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen once again pledging support to smaller banks following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates, but with fresh instability in the banking sector, financial markets are hoping for a more modest quarter percentage point increase.
Trying to thread the needle here, balance things, trying to do enough to help support the banking system and financial system, get that on solid ground, but at the same time, continue to fight inflation.
And the housing industry could be particularly impacted by today's decision. Nationwide, existing home sales actually increased from January to February, but are still down more than 22% from last year. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. The CEO of Norfolk Southern is back in the hot seat on Capitol Hill, and Foot Locker announces plans to attract younger shoppers. The Money Watch report is next.
Spring is in the air, and you know what that means. It's Feldco season.
Feldco season. It means 50% off windows with no money down, no payments, and no interest until 2024. So you can replace those eyesores without breaking the bank. It means getting the windows you want fast, so your home's ready for the warmer weather ahead. It's the season of home renewal. It's Feldco season.
This offer won't last long. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
She locked him in his room, starved her son to death. The 16-year-old boy weighed only 42 pounds when he died. She could have got 25 years, but she got lucky. Judge Janet Protasewicz set her free. No time in prison. He strangled and raped his 79-year-old aunt. He faced 25 years, but he got lucky too. Protasewicz let him off with only 5. Tell Judge Protasewicz this is not justice. Stop protecting criminals.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there is now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
Out of Papa Murphy's Kitchen, the limited time double bacon cheddar pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Nacho cheddar cheese sauce, crispy bacon, Canadian bacon? Now that is an expression.
Change the way you pizza.
Memories matter. This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw is back in the hot seat today on Capitol Hill. He's expected to discuss the aftermath of that toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. According to prepared testimony obtained by CBS News, Shaw will give updated figures on the cleanup and push for stronger rail safety measures. Last week, Ohio's Attorney General announced it is suing Norfolk Southern in federal court to force it to pay for groundwater and soil monitoring for years to come. It also wants the company to cover economic losses in East Palestine and surrounding areas. It's been more than a week since federal regulators took over 2 failed U.S. banks, and yesterday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the federal government is ready to take similar measures should other smaller U.S. banks suffer the same circumstances. Yellen's remarks were made before a gathering of the American Bankers Association. And Foot Locker is planning to close 400 stores over the next 3 years. But the sneaker chain will open new concept stores aimed at winning over younger shoppers. A Foot Locker executive told investors the stores it will shutter only account for about 10% of the company's sales. Foot Locker will also close 125 of its underperforming Champs Sports stores this year. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial is down 82 points. The NASDAQ off almost 11. The S&P 500 down 4. Our call for action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Volunteers are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you can call for action right now at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call for action. Up next, Pam's back with more pictures from Iceland. Plus, Kelly has a look at the complete forecast. And then today on Live at 4, we'll take a look at destination weddings and why they're growing in popularity.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate spring with our big spring thaw sale. We're talking about savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board with our spring thaw sale. Save 23% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
On abortion rights, do you want extremist Dan Kelly holding the gavel? Kelly wants abortion banned even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. He'll uphold the 1849 criminal abortion law that allows doctors and nurses to be jailed for performing abortions. And he'll strip women of their freedom to make their own decision on abortion. So don't give Dan Kelly a gavel with your vote. He's just too extreme.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
Brothers Maine has been family-owned since 1938. Some of us were born into this family, and others chose to join through the years. And we know you can't replace family, but you can replace appliances, and Brothers Maine is here for you when one breaks down. Our in-house team has delivered ranges to washers to refrigerators to hectic households in a pinch, oftentimes the next day. Just because an appliance breaks down doesn't mean you have to. We're not big box. We're Brothers Maine. And we want you to feel like family here.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Coco Jones doesn't just look like me. I just play into it. I'm like, and I tell you. Plus, Sky Jackson is a class act.
The key to a good clapback is...
She said it with grace.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You feel powerless.
It took a year of working with our Call for Action volunteers for a Madison woman to resolve a healthcare billing issue. Catherine Merck brings you a Call for Action investigation into a kidney dialysis horror story. Thursday on News 3 Now at 5:30.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Let's check in now. Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Have you thawed out from Iceland yet?
A little bit, but I'll tell you what, until I see some pounding sunshine, it's still going to leave a mark. Yeah, it was definitely cold. The only thing that kind of kept us moving was getting a chance to see how the people that live in Iceland kind of persist. Take a look at some of the pictures. The sheep industry in Iceland is a mainstay. They've got more sheep in Iceland than they do people. And it's their Icelandic breed that is really what they're talking about. Now, this is, now I got to say her name, Ada and Gumi. Gumi is the farmer, Ada is the wife. They work together in tandem on their multi-generation sheep operation that is right next to a fjord. Beautiful setting, but boy, the day we were there, you just could not catch your breath. It was so cold. Now, in Iceland, they do not import any other breed of sheep. They keep their Icelandic sheep breed. It's a dual-purpose breed, one that's got long hair and then a dense undercoat next to the body that keeps those sheep comfortable. So Gumi was telling me that what they do is basically about May, if the weather is right, or June, they send all their sheep and sheep out into the higher elevations. They free-range graze on the grass that's available, and then about September, they start rounding them up to make sure that they are headed back towards the barn for winter shelter. See that hair there? You can see the hair coat on those sheep, and then, like I said, a denser undercoat that keeps them warm. Actually, I should say in May, they are going to start to lamb. Right now, they are doing the shearing. I said to Gumi, how much money are you getting for a fleece? And he said, just like here in the United States, it's not worth much. But he does try to save it up and see if he can't get some volume money going. But like I said, pretty cool sheep. They know how to survive. They'll be starting to lamb in May, which is far later than what we've got here in Wisconsin. But like I said, when you factor in the weather conditions that those animals are up against, they're doing a pretty good job with rate of gain. And I'm not a big lamb fan, but boy, did I like that lamb. It just tastes a little bit different, had a very much like a beef taste, and they credit that to the fine, high-quality grass that those sheep are enjoying. There's the view coming out of the barn and walking back down to the house. Beautiful fjord right there, where they said every once in a while you pull out the driveway and there's a seal sitting up on the road from that fjord. So beautiful setting. You cannot deny it's gorgeous. And I wanted that picture. Back in the day, they used to, when a lamb was born, they would notch its ears so that they knew exactly where that lamb belonged. They're kind of more into ear tags now, but that still tells you about how the agriculture heritage of Iceland persists. Dairy markets today in Chicago. Barrel cheese dropped $0.0125 down to $1.94. 40-pound block cheese was up 3 at $2.01.5. The AA butter, that dropped 2.25 cents at $2.3825 per pound. I'm not sure if we're going to get through all the rest of them. Our markets are pretty much the same as what you heard on Wall Street, feeling downward pressure. There's a lot of angst in the world about the geopolitical situation. China getting pretty chummy with Russia. China was a big corn producer or corn purchaser from the U.S. last week. Kind of hoping that business stays, but with the way the tensions are around the world, you just don't know. Keep an eye on that. So, yeah, now you've seen a picture of the Icelandic sheep. We'll try to get dairy and horses in from Iceland before the end of the week.
Okay, looking forward to that. Pam?
Yeah.
On this World Water Day, the United Nations is warning that the Earth is on the brink of a global water crisis, with 1 in 4 people around the world lacking access to safe drinking water. CBS's Tina Kraus reports.
These women didn't need a report from the United Nations to reveal the scale of the world's water crisis. In West Africa's Ivory Coast, clean water is in scarce supply. Martine Touré says they should do something about it. We've had no water in the house for over a year. Every day we have to come here to collect water, and we're tired of it. The UN says more than a quarter of the world's population cannot find safe drinking water and warns the number of people lacking access will double by 2050.
3.6 billion people, nearly half the population of the world, don't have access to safe sanitation services.
Researchers say overconsumption and pollution are making the problem even worse. And since water treatment uses energy that's usually not renewable, that exacerbates the problem.
So you're not only contributing to water scarcity when you use water at home, you're also contributing to greenhouse gases and to climate change.
Pope Francis marked World Water Day with a message to the world, urging people to preserve it for future generations, saying water cannot be the object of waste or abuse. The UN had pledged to give everyone access to clean water and sanitation by 2030, but the Secretary General says this latest report shows the world is woefully off track. Tina Krause, CBS News.
Here's meteorologist Kelly Slifka now with the forecast.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's not quite as nice as yesterday. We saw the sun yesterday, but it's also that dampness in the air. It probably will not feel as warm as what we're expecting. You can see these low clouds from our sky cam from the Queen Bee radio over there in Platteville. So we've got the low cloud deck, a little bit of drizzle here and there, a little bit of mist, and some visibility is down to a quarter of a mile. It's been fairly thick over in Iowa County and Mineral Point there. Also down into Lafayette County, then Platteville, 1.5 miles is the visibility right now. So we're looking at some rain to develop later tonight. That'll be mainly after midnight, but eventually that'll change over to some snow. We are expecting a little bit of accumulation with that. It's going to be turning colder over the next few days. Another system comes in. It's going to be a larger one by Friday night and Saturday. That will likely be bringing some accumulating snow. Now, as far as the overnight snow into tomorrow morning, maybe affecting the morning commute, might be snowing at that time. Slushy accumulation, temperatures will probably be above freezing, but once again, we could be talking about upwards of an inch. That looks like about it. We've got a cold front sliding through right now, the system down to our south, and all that moisture moving in. That's why we are expecting some rain, then eventually, with that colder air working in, changing over to some snow. Now, we're going to struggle to get up to 50, and at any given point, it probably won't feel like it because of that dampness in the air, and we've got the clouds, not quite as nice as yesterday, but mild nonetheless for this time of March. So dry this evening, but as we get after midnight, we start to see some of this rain spread in from the west here in Dane County. Switch it over to some snow after 3 o'clock in the morning. Waking up in the morning as you're headed off to work or school, we're looking at a band of some snow. That should taper off pretty quickly for the morning commute. Then just a colder day as temperatures struggle to get into low 40s. We're watching the next system coming in Friday night. This looks like it'll be mainly later Friday night. May mix with a little bit of rain, then change into all snow as we go into the late Friday night into Saturday morning. And it looks like, once again, southeastern Wisconsin is in line for seeing some accumulating snow. Should start to wind down Saturday morning. And then we got the north winds on the backside keeping us rather chilly. Now, snowfall amounts still a little bit up in the air, but we are looking at fairly widespread, at least 1 to 3 inches of snow. Of course, with temperatures this time of the year, a lot of this is going to be melting on contact. It's going to be that really heavy, wet snow. As you get to the south and east over into parts of Jefferson and Rock County down toward Janesville, could be talking about 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. So this will be that heavy, wet snow. May pick up a little bit more over there toward Milwaukee. So your first warn forecast today, a little bit of drizzle here and there, maybe a shower. It's going to be very light. It's mainly later tonight going into tomorrow when we'll see that rain develop into some snow tomorrow morning, some light accumulation expected, some sun in the afternoon, a break in the weather pattern Thursday night into Friday, but then we're looking at that snow to develop as Friday night into Saturday morning. We are expecting some of that accumulation, and you can see that that active weather pattern continues in the next week with temperatures remaining below average, only into the 40s. We'll be right back with Mr. Food.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Is no in your vocabulary?
No.
No isn't a thing at Bergstrom Automotive.
Can I park my helicopter in your lot?
Yes!
Perfect.
You've been told no before? Join the Bergstrom Automotive family for the yes. Bergstrom for the yes.
It starts as a kitchen built for right now and grows with you as life changes. Clearview Cabinetry is flexible by design, so you can go from doors to drawers for storage that works at every stage. And the style is so easy to update, you can do it in a snap, meaning you don't have to remodel your space to make it work even better. Because it's not just a kitchen, it's the center of your universe. Clearview Cabinetry, 11% off at Menards.
After I was robbed and my girlfriend was beat up, Janet Prolise was the prosecutor that went after those criminals. Those fools were on a violent crime spree. Janet prosecuted them case after case and brought those criminals to justice. I saw her work up close. She's compassionate, she's fair, and she believes in public safety. On the Supreme Court, I know she'll fight for you because she fought for me. Janet cares about us.
We rented and rented and rented on the hopes of buying it someday. Bill and I not having any financial education at all.
Coming in first time talking with Amanda was, all right, well, what's the track? What do you do?
She taught us how to correctly do things financially and how to build our credit, how to purchase our home.
When you ask for advice and then you follow advice on it, you can really get where you want to go.
The Paco Credit Union truly helped me believe in myself again.
Oh, the weather. What's the chance of rain tomorrow?
Ooh, 80%. I make it rain. I make it rain.
Speaking of making it rain, at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, we have an average 95% payout, which leads you to more chances of playing longer and more chances to win big. Play longer, win more, chances are you're gonna like it.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
So you just bought a vehicle from us. Will we give you a week to drive it and return it if you don't love it? Yes. Love it or return it? Yes, it's that easy. You've been told no before? Join the Bergstrom Automotive family for the yes. Bergstrom for the yes.
We're halfway through our week-long celebration of international food favorites. And today, we're sharing a dish that originated in North Africa, became hugely popular in the Middle East, and now has taken America by storm. It's called shakshuka. Now, don't let the name scare you, cause it's simply some eggs that are cooked in a flavor-packed chunky tomato sauce. After cutting up an onion and green pepper, we saute them in a splash of olive oil. Once they're tender, we add some garlic, cumin, paprika, ground red pepper, and a bit of salt and pepper. After it cooks for a minute or so, we add in a can of diced tomatoes and let it simmer until it thickens up. Once it does, we stir in some feta cheese and a bit of freshly chopped cilantro. At this point, all we have to do is give it a good stir and then make indentations in this thick stew-like sauce and crack an egg into each one. After this cooks for a few minutes, it's ready to top with more cilantro and some freshly ground pepper. You'll probably want to serve this with pita or crusty bread so you can sop up every last bit. To get the recipe for simple shakshuka, just visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an internationally delicious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Kelly now with one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we've got a lot of clouds out there today. It's feeling kind of damp right now, but temperatures are going to warm through the 40s, maybe touching close to 50 this afternoon. Mainly dry, maybe a spotty shower or some drizzle. After midnight tonight, we'll see some rain, eventually changing over to some snow after 3 o'clock, and that'll continue for the morning commute. Expecting any accumulation less than an inch, and that should end pretty quickly in the morning. And it will be turning colder with temperatures only in the low 40s. Tomorrow may get a little bit of clearing later in the day. Our first morning forecast, 42 tomorrow, 45 on Friday. That snow and rain develops, it looks like, Friday night. We are expecting some accumulation come Saturday morning, and will be cool this weekend. And it looks like it'll remain unsettled right into next week.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. I guess. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.